Eric Sorensen is following this breaking story, and he joins us from London.
The CBC's Eric Sorensen has that story.
Eric Sorensen looks at how and when the games will begin again.
Eric Sorensen, CBC News, Toronto.
Regina.
Whitehorse.
Grise Fiord.
The entire planet is warming up.
Every 20 years, a little more gold color as the planet gradually warms up. It's the ocean's currents, like long conveyor belts, that are warming up the planet. The fire season in Australia is getting longer, and the fires are multiplying. Polar ice caps are melting now. If temperatures go up 4 degrees, sea levels could rise 7 meters or more. On this date in 2014, the Great Lakes were still 90% covered in ice. Satellite pictures show the dramatic reduction in pollution in China this year.
They have never been confronted with a disaster quite like this. The CBC's Eric Sorensen has that story.
A small navy of fishermen headed out to the ocean, their way guided eerily by flares in the sky.
Within hours, it had become clear that the all-out effort and quick response was to no avail. So it just goes to show that a bomber doesn't have to breach security to terrorize the Olympics.
Eric, tell us what you know so far about this accident.
The car was driving along a road in Paris and went into a tunnel, Noreen. There were 4 people in the car. Princess Diana was seriously injured, according to police sources. Irma is colossal. It's more than 600 kilometers across, and it will devastate in 3 ways. First, the winds. North Korea has now conducted 6 nuclear tests since 2006 with increasing explosive power. In sports, the undercurrent of racism is mostly kept in check. But for President Trump, the demographics were seemingly irresistible. How do you juggle this work and make a ball game? Well, on this occasion, from the moment Paxton releases this pitch, and they haven't gone metric in baseball.
Starting today, the eyes of the world are on Canada, and Canadians are ready to put on a show. Canada is now a world leader in drug testing.
Can you tell us how many countries?
No.
How many sports and which sports?
No.
Why?
The golden goal!
There sure was. The hockey game capped a tremendous finish by Canadian Olympians.
Can I touch it for a second?
Yeah, give her.
All right. Oh man, that's heavy.
Nice, they're heavy, yeah.
Kawhi up top.
4 seconds elapsed. The buzzer already buzzed. Everyone left hanging for that moment. Canadians have favored leaders to serve more than 1 elected term on the government benches. So will Trudeau and the Liberals in red remain on the government benches? Some optimism, a lot of uncertainty around the Conservative campaign today. Well, who's best to deal with these issues? All right, and I was just told one little bit of news there as well, that Michael Ignatieff has been defeated. From our virtual studios, we will be watching results from coast to coast. Wait for it. To coast will be revealed tonight on our election coverage as we watch the race to 170.
There's been a coup on Parliament Hill. Pigeons and seagulls, ruffling more than a few feathers. The pigeons are besmirching the buildings. The gulls are laying waste to the statues.
A few months ago, in this secluded area, somebody got very busy digging.
The chamber was just taller than I am. It was 6 feet 4 inches. The width was less than a meter, 2 feet 10 inches.
Just as Lake Erie drains from north to south, there is an ongoing drain in terms of our young people who leave the country.
Oops, Lake Erie drains from south to north. We called it the barge when I came here to look at this 50 years ago when I was a kid, and we wondered at the time, how does it stay in one place?
A century of pounding water and rusting metal, and finally gale-force winds last week eventually pushed the Iron Hulk off its rocky perch.
But for the Prime Minister to march across the aisle and get physical was just so unparliamentary. We lost, by the way. Thank you very much. Excuse me. So how is it even possible the cockpit doors are never left wide open? Instead, a player who had never had an NFL interception moved to his right and guessed right.
Liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
It looks imaginary, like surreal art, but it is real. Images of galaxies that have transported our gaze millions of light years into space.
Now, the black hole is even smaller. The black hole swallowed this dense star. Its real size, 6.7 meters tall, about 22 feet, almost 4 times higher than I am. Putting people on Mars is no longer science fiction.
25 years ago, Hubble was supposed to give our nearsighted planet its first set of glasses.
Every image, like this interstellar cloud, tells scientists something new.
Eric Sorensen, CBC News, Islamabad. Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.